Right. It is about almost 2 o'clock in the morning in New York City. And we're waiting for the markets to open up again. Crude oil has supposedly, according to some moronic news reporter who asked Trump, hey, what do you think about this crude at minus 137 a barrel? Minus. Dude, you cannot buy crude oil for negative numbers. And then Trump, being a marketician, he says, yeah, a lot of people got hurt. It's called a squeeze. It's the spread. It's the spread, dude. You think the option traders that have a put on crude are making money? Yeah, but dude, there's still such thing as negative numbers. That's the bid. That's why people, I look at a chart and they go, look at that. They look at the crashing of the, take a look at the Swiss franc being depegged. Do you really think you could have bought it down there? I bet the spread was 500 pips. It probably went to 1,000 pips. In fact, the ask probably really didn't change. That chart is a bullshit chart. That's fake chart. That's fake shit. Fake news. Data like that. People are talking about, where can I get good spreads? Dude, not in Asia. Not when the market's closed. And not when you shut down the oil market. What do you think the spread is? How do you describe what the minus 37? He goes, I didn't know that. It's a market. So if you take a market all the way down, can a stock go below zero? Well, if it's minus 5, if you have to pay 5 for it, and it's only worth, when the market's going down, say the market's going down, you paid X. Well, maybe next week it's worth less than that. But yeah, nobody's going to be able to make money by just, hey, could you send me some crude at negative 37? What a great trade, right? Well, here, how about just 15? We'll just give you $15 and take a loss. We'll save ourselves half that loss and we'll just give you the oil for 15. Come on, man. And all the people, well, I don't trade Forex. It's a scam. I trade the S&P 500 ES Mini. Okay, well, is your spread fixed? Is it zero? Are you trading every zigzag? Can you handle a fucking 1,000 pip move? Then when the market typically, and this is the typical bullshit people, well, typically with my 14 period ATR, typically it moves about X. Therefore, I built the whole fucking trading algorithm on top of that, and so far I've been able to make 5%. Well, then fuck, dude. If you got $100,000 in your account, you're making 5%. Why are you even trading? I mean, I'm saying okay. I'm saying you obviously. I just don't get that 5%. Okay, maybe you're making 40%, and maybe then you're making negative 20%, like the crude trade, like real life. And it's like, well, so I'm posting the now defunct. It's so funny because I remember when they took the scripts out of MetaTrader. There are no scripts in MetaTrader. We're passing around scripts that have been built years ago. I think my first script I wrote was almost 10 years ago now. And I was like, holy fuck, look at this script shit. So some guy made a comment in my video, goes, wow, thanks for, yeah, no shit. You could be a zillionaire if you lined up your robots. But even that, you've got issues. Are you monitoring these accounts? Are you taking money out? Or is it just like you made $10 billion, you never spent a buck? Look at my account. Look how good a trader I am. Well, at some point, you would have to take some money out. This is another psychological thing. Even if you put $1,000 and you take out $100 every week, and you only make $150 every week, that's what the big boys are doing, because nobody's going to fucking take a goddamn $40 million account and trade it like a cowboy. Of course. Those are two different kind of traders. You got a $1 million position and some guy's making you 10% a month. He's like, yeah, now we're talking. but you got to get past the 5. It's costing you 2 to trade. It's costing you commissions and spread and deposit fees and withdrawal fees and it's just the drama of going to fucking. Are you trading this manually, or you got a robot doing it? Now, a robot's a little sloppy, and this robot Ryan Brown built that he tore down, like the scripts have been torn down, it's been making money, dude. Now, let me take a look at this robot. This is the first version, or the latest version, 7 or 8, and all I did was change different settings. Now, I do want to change the comments in here so that if you right mouse click on here and you look at the robot, it's going to say comment. EA comment. So you can make this. I would make this the settings name. The name of the settings. You come up with a template or a method. I mean, a way of naming this stuff. And that is the critical thing. The name is everything. Like, nobody's going to read War and Peace. You just have to say the title, War and Peace, and people are like, I got it. Thank you. Thank you for saving me tons of time. Well, we're having an essay. Aren't you in college? Are you going nowhere with your life? Oh, you're going to trade. Oh, well, come here. We want you to read War and Peace. And then what you want to do is do like a contrast and compare of the book. But I could be trading. And that's somebody asked me about this Albert Brooks. What do you think about Albert Brooks? Well, I looked at it, It looks like he's on a 5-minute chart, ES 500, S&P 500. And he's trading by the minute, I'd say, kind of like all these guys in the same camp. These are they babysit the chart, look at the thing, what's going on. And I'd say 80% of the people are doing that. Maybe not. Who knows? But I mean, this is the classic approach to trading. Give me a chart. What's going on now? What can I do about it? Can I pull the trigger? Should I sit on the sidelines? Should I take some on? Should I put some off? So for me, it's should I put some on or should I put some off? Because I'm not going to be an all or nothing trader. I'm not going to stand in the middle of the sea and wait for one boat to come pick me up. No, I'm sorry. I'm going to have a bunch of fucking baby boats spread in a grid so that if one of them gets picked up, I can say I'm in, right? So if I grid trade it, which is Ryan Brown's doing, he's laying out a grid, just simple concepts. It's kind of sad that he because he overloaded his martingale account, he's going to tear down this is like he is the product of the current, because he's young and I'd say intelligent, striving for I wouldn't say holy grail, but like this thing that's a robot that can just do stuff for you. And it is doing it. I'm going to run this thing. So that is my, I've been running it for a week. And I think I've been running it I've been under trading it because when I first started to run it, I ran it on the 1 minute, 5 minute chart and let it go. And then I would take a look at it because the analysis side of my mind wanted to look at the 4-hour chart. I put it on the 4-hour chart or the daily chart, and I forgot to turn it back to the 1 minute chart and the 5 minute chart because I do want it to overtrade. I do want it to trade what he calls high risk. But my martingale is not like his. His martingale is starting off on some ridiculous number, ends up at 3.9 standard lots in an account with only like 10 grand in it, or even 100 grand in it. If it had 100 grand in it, and you went into a fucking stopless percentage pip risk or whatever grid trading. Okay, you're grid trading. You need 4 standard lots on one ticket. Meanwhile, the ticket just before that was fucking 3 standard lots. So if you're gonna martingale like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 standard lots, yeah, you're gonna blow the fucking account up. I mean, seriously, you need to have you need the government to fund that account. You need like $1 billion in that account. And even at that, you're losing such big money. There always has to be this limit. And then he's talking about these guys that are just trading like cowboys. and they're making this money. Are they really make? If you're talking about money, it's different than percentage of risk. So, this other thing, somebody sent me an email. Let's wait for my email to open up. I like how Google's got this shit. I don't even know if you can change this, but Google's such a piece of shit when it comes to email. Because they got like this is promotions, this is social. I'm like, what if this is important? You fucking filed it in some dumb shit fucking category for me? Some made up categories? Social. How do you know I'm social? Get the fuck out. We have social distancing. If I hear the word social distancing one more time, I'm going to fucking... I had some lady freak out on me today. And somebody said, did you hear what she said? I go, I didn't even fucking notice. She was mumbling something about, I'm going to bring my own mask in here. Because I'm not wearing a mask. I mean, I'm just build up my immune system. I can eat shit straight and hot now because I have licked every doorknob I see. That's my mission. Went to punch in my pin code today, and they have this rubber thing on top of the. Just have the integrate the fucking thing so when I pin out, right, every time I pin out, it's reading my fucking, my COVID-19ness. I could just, can't I just do that? Like, it's hard enough to get the keypad to make sense. So I'm like, gosh, the adding machine is not like the phone. What the fuck happened there? Why is that inverted for some reason? I don't know. It's a bad world to live in. It's tough. So Ryan Brown, bless his heart, he posted this robot. It's crude, but it is doing, and I can adjust the settings, and I know what I've done. And so far, it's made fucking $1,200. Now, you can't beat that, not even with a stick. Now, that is $1,200. I mean, I could turn off the robot right now and walk away. It's down $200. It's in 35K. It's martingaling in at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's been in a 19K up to this point. Let's take a look at the stats here. I'm looking at the history. So far this week, I forgot to turn it on Sunday night, so we lost a little bit of ground there. And I did kind of fuck up I wanted to overtrade, but see what I've done here is I've named this robot by just, these are arbitrary settings, this number I put in there. And this is where the guy that was talking about, he saw one of my robot videos. Because I'm not against robots. This could be the new norm. I want that Italian girl with the Asian body, please. And so, I'm looking at so the performance here, and I know if I wrote down all this shit, now it's kind of worth it. And like I said before, it's all about money management. And even though this robot trades with no fucking stops, it has this point where it says, I'm out. It's okay, I'm out. And this is probably going to be a robot. Even though you would say, why would you use a robot? Well, it's free. And I mean, Ryan Brown was right. He was right there. It's almost like on that game, you're getting warm, you're getting cold. Dude, you have it in your hands right now. Also, if you're going to manually trade, which if you don't mind the work and the drudgery of trading, yes, manually trading is going to make money too. But if that decision that you're going to make is so stupid, I mean, and this could outtrade any fucking harmonic bot, because since it's scaling in on a grid, that is the whole fucking strategy. You don't need to go any further. The fact that you're using RMI or LaGuardias or Rankos or fucking on and fucking on and no nonsense will tell you straight out. There's a infinite amount of indicators, because as soon as I take one indicator's output and put that into the next one, so I do the stochastics of RSI. Can you imagine it's like foot pedal switches. There's a guy out there, I'm sure he knows what I'm talking about. The sequencing of these foot switches, if you have 10 switches, hell, if you just have 4 switches, you keep changing the sequences, and then you change the fucking settings on each one, you've got a bottomless pit of arrays within a certain context, because you're going to say, you know what, it kind of sounds the same to me. unless you take a parametric EQ after all that shit, and then you put a fucking harmonizer, and then you run it through a fucking back into another distortion pedal, back into a fucking vocoder, back into fucking your neighbor's fucking garden hose, back into your fucking. So yeah, and then you look at this indicator. Oh wow, that was really cool. How'd you do that? How much does that cost? Well, if you have to ask, you can't afford it. How's that? And this whole thing about money, as people, what are they going to figure out, dude? If you're not dead, or if you don't have ass cancer or corona, what the fuck? People are such pussies. You're going to fucking die, bitch. I'm going down the street. Now get the fuck out of my way. Fuck you. I can't buy paint. Fuck you. Paint. What? Well, I know it sounds ridiculous. So I think this is a product. This is the modern product. I'm only speaking as a guy that's 60 fucking 2 years old. I'm over these fucking pussies. So I was talking to a girl today, this fucking 35, 33. She's like, yeah, what's with the wimpies? I go, yeah, I know. They're all fucking wimps, raised by mom, divorced parents. And then you got this shit going on. People gonna fucking trade the Forex. Forex, any market's not designed for people. Fucking fake news guy, or I don't know if he was Wall Street Journal, fucking dumb shit. Hey, would you like Trump with the 37, not $3 negative, 37.50 negative on crude? God, it sounds like the fucking, the dollar amount per fucking contract. Have you ever been in soybeans? So, yeah, some guy said I sound like ICT, yeah. Well, maybe because I started the same place ICT did. I started with this fucking, I had a beta tape machine, and I watched the fucking Gerald Appel, floor trader pivots. Oh my God, this is it. Dude, I'm telling you what. I was like, this has got to be it. Look at this fucker. He's on the beach. Well, of course, not for me. I saw him on the beach with a quote trek in his hand. This is the original cell phone with data. I mean, I can bring up a MetaTrader on my Android now. Android didn't exist when I was doing this 10 years ago. And then if you go back to Gerald Appel, I think I pronounced his last name, I had the fucking videotape with the book that goes along with it, with the pivots, how to calculate the pivots, and there's no fucking way I was going to do it. Because I looked at it and go, there's something wrong here. There is something wrong here. This is impossible. And then he was on the beach without a chart. Just the numbers. And he's putting trades on, calling people. Yeah, I'd like to, and I wish I could remember what he said. And I don't know if it was a market or a limit order. Maybe he was putting limit orders, and maybe I was like, well, what the fuck. That didn't occur to me. The whole idea that you could place a trade without chart. Because before, up to that point, I've seen a couple charts. I think I went to Borders Books before they went out of business, and I was just, walking around there. It has to start somewhere. No, I actually bought a magazine. What inspired me about the robots is it was a PC magazine, and it said maybe you should just let the market trade. And that's when I went to Robotville. But I was in this 5 years earlier. I'm reading all these books, and I'm okay, and I would print out the corn chart, and I stared at it one night. I'll never forget. It was a bar chart, and I stared at it. I said, there's got to be a way to make money from this chart, because at that time, corn, the one that I printed out, was definitely, for most people's mind, as much data that was on that page. It started off on the lower left part of the page, and it ended near the upper right, and most people would consider that the market's going up, even though there are little pullbacks along the way that if you're in so fucking big on that trade, you're going to shit your pants, and you're never going to be able to complete to the end. Somebody asked me about this guy that made $170,000 in the Dow Jones. This black guy who obviously knows how to trade size, because he described it in there. He says you can't just go balls in on this thing. You got to understand the Dow Jones, and every tick is worth a lot more, and you got to trade like this and that. Yeah, that's why he's making $170,000. And who knows what his risk was, but it's a whole mindset thing. And I know people are dazzled by a $176,000 win, but do you think he wins? Is that his worst trade of his life? And he only trades bigger than that? Like, I mean, where is the baseline for this guy? And so what is your psychological, like, wow, that was a good week, I made 50 grand. Woof. You know, last week I lost 10 grand. I mean, if you told anybody on the street, how was last week for you? I don't know, I lost 10 grand. They're like, doing what? Dead hookers? Like, they came to the house, they're like, oh God, fucking hey, well, I gotta get another one. This one's got corona. Oh fuck, can I get another hooker, please? Hurry up, I've only got 4 hours. You know, what kind of fucking world are you in that you need to be hard for fucking 4 hours? How did you not arrange your fucking schedule? Should you even have a dick? I think that's another thing. If the government's going to tell you how you can live your life, come on, we got to get into the dick problem. You know, it's just, how much how safe do you need to feel? Is it okay to pay too much? And that's almost a sin too. Not only losing in Forex, like, God, I'm paying this giant spread. Holy fucking many fuck. Dude, this is just the price of doing business. So look at this profit. We're looking at money now. This robot's worst trade is $18 on the. I'm sorry, that's not true. Oh, fake news. No, it's the worst trade here. It's a 4K that it cashed out of, and its best trade is still in this trade. Fuck, what am I talking about? Because I know there's I'm on the fucking real time where we're at. I didn't go to history. Oh, please hold. Okay, so that is what I'm looking for, is the comments. And I don't know if I can see if we cashed out. I don't have commissions turned on ever because it's taking up too much space and I can't see. And I never turn on comments, but I'm gonna on here. So, have we made any money from the 6 robot? Now the other trades here I could filter out, and I just got sidetracked. If you were to take this comment and spill this out into a spreadsheet and be able to pick it up in Lotus 1, 2, 3, and you could pick that shit up, you could see which robot's killing it and which robot's not. You could do the same thing with your manual trading, and you could sit there and do that shit, right? Now these are all available, especially for people that aren't used to being home. You have plenty of time to dick around with these robots and stuff. And trade manually and trade demos, and people are always thinking that, well, why would you trade a demo? I mean, Jesus Christ, dude. If you know how to trade, just trade real money and be done with it. Okay. Yeah, I only play on stage when I've already got the best solo. I've never rehearsed, I've never practiced, but I'm going to walk on stage and try to embarrass myself just a little bit more than I do on YouTube. And I want to just fucking start playing on stage, and people will be dazzled, like, how did you make $167,000 with that melody? I know. I sold it to some goobers that could sing better than me, and then it just, right, so there's not this one way to, this guy, yeah, it's true, the guy that's in the, when you see a guy in a giant fucking house, right, welcome to my garage, and you're like, dude, okay, you got a Porsche, you got that, you got a laptop, but you're telling me that you're making Forex trades. That's how you're paying for these cars. How big is that trading account? Like 500 million? So you can just be a slob about trading. You can still afford these cars. Right, isn't the idea that you've got 10 grand or $1,000 and you're making 50%? Because your skill level is good enough. You don't need to buy 20 fucking guitars and 500 foot pedals. Yeah, that one I spilled a beer on that one. You're not going to be, are you really going to be like that? And then coming back to Albert Brooks, what he's doing is same thing Joe Ross does. You look at this chart. It's going down. Wait for a pullback. Get in. Now, Albert Brooks is telling beginners, like Fauci's telling people how to live their fucking life like a fucking moron. You got to get herd immunity. It's counterintuitive. You got to get sick. Okay, apparently I got it. You got to get sick. And you got to get through this thing, man. You can't sit there like a fucking pussy your whole life. Jesus Christ, this thing stopped out on my... see my history of my tickets? They start there at... those are this... so that's not fair, not totally fair, but I traded this whole thing and nothing but hedges up until I put the robot in, so it's not a pure thing, but I know what the balance was. It was 1,500, and so the constraints of your system, the one with the breakouts where I was manually trading the hedges, when the market gets quiet, you put on a hedge. It's the obvious fucking strategy that kicks ass. Why aren't people doing that? And so when I saw that, the reason I didn't do it, because I did the fucking math. I was in the commodity market. And I wasn't going to... Albert Brooks is telling people, put a buy stop in if you think it's going up. Well, fucking A, buy if you think it's going. If you think it's going up, if you're bullish, fucking just buy it. Don't buy fucking 8 standard lots. I mean, people just totally misconstrue that and nobody gets it. I mean, what I'm talking about half the time. They're like, well, so if I do this? No, you can't just do that. So if I just turn the car right, I'll go down the street with the hot girl? Yeah, but not now, dude. Yeah, timing. You're going to wait till you get to the street and you're going to turn. But you want to live like that? Or just want to have a drone go out and pick up hot chicks for you? Just scours the neighborhood. Oh, look at this one. Yeah, you want the robot to do what you would do, right? Or you want the car to do what you would have the pack of horses, the Clydesdales, that drag you down the street. Oh, that's gay, right? I always thought they were like wearing bell bottoms. I'd watch the Tonight Show, and then his drunk sidekick would. That's the era I'm from. Is like, analog this, analog that. So the digital world, it's got a little bit of a bite back, especially the digital media of like people shitting their pants and grabbing all the toilet paper off the shelves. It's just so funny. How many times are we going to repeat this fucking stupid template? There's an algorithm for you. Goober rhythm, right? The goober rhythms. And we see this over and over again, and just hysteria and blah, 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 and oh my God. And yeah, you put yourself in a fucking, these people are going to, the beauty of this thing is that capitalism is such a fucking, it trumps any fucking socialist cunts on the planet. All these little pussies are just going to get, bye-bye. Darwin just took care of you. From the weak ones that lived like a shit life to the people that are genetically mysteriously hit by lightning. Yeah, people are going to die out of fucking nowhere. And some guy posted a thing about the virus and the thing of it. And what does it all mean and where will it all end? What does it matter? What does it really matter? I guess that's the cynical part of life. What does it really fucking matter whether this guy makes $176,000 trading Forex and he could prove it? This is the shit people used to give me. Well, can you dude, I have to prove that for you? Well, let me see you do a wheelie on a motorcycle. I don't do wheelies on a motorcycle. I do them on a bicycle. What do you think? I'm a motorcycle rider? Or so in the market, what's the style of trading? Well, Albert Brooks is a guy that went to, he went to do surgery. He came home. He was trading the S&P 500. And he said, I'm making fucking more money this per day than I did there. Yeah, great. He's trading, and that's this thing. And he's like, okay, that's what I'm doing. He could afford to do that and jump ship from being a surgeon. So everybody has a story, and everybody, if you read Market Wizards, the Market Wizards books, both of those I read, you're talking about people who have a very unique character. Now, look at this guy, he's so rich. Yeah, because he's doing this. He's got that chunk of money. Now, there are people like, you could see people take an account from $1,000 and turn it into like $4,000 in 2 weeks. Yes, of course. And that's a different style of trading, and that's and that people know the market. They go, I see what's going on here. And they're like, I got it. And they know how to. Now, that person could be in they could be in 5 standard lots in one trade. They see that setup, they take that setup, they make that money, boom. Can they replicate it like that? Probably never again. The market is not that. It's cycling and it's repeating, but not in the same range. So the range is what kills you. The range is what makes you money. The fact that you bought low and you sold high. Now you could say this if you're going to teach somebody from scratch. Most people, so I was showing this girl today, the candlestick chart, I kind of mentioned it in passing. She could just see the market gone up. We're talking about the Canadian dollar. 6,000 pips, in a couple of years. I didn't say pips, I said cents to her because it makes sense, right? You can't say pips to somebody that's, and it's percentage in profit, percentage in points, but I mean, you really just keep it simple. And keep it simple, and then you say, okay, now let's go up, okay. So if we bought down here, how much? And then you'd say, if you bought down there, and then the market went up 1,000 pips and went down 1,000 pips and then went up 2,000 pips, and you got up when it was up 2,000 cents or 20 cents. Is that a good? Well, 20 cents may sound like, well, that's not a very good trade, is it? Well, you're in $1 million and it went up 20 cents. You're in $1 million position and it went up 20 cents. You own something that just went up just a little bit. And that's where people talk about that percentage, I think, because they're like, yeah, well, 2% of $1 million is a lot of money. And yes, if you have I'm just going to put it out there. I know they have these disclaimers people start their videos with, the CDC says you should only risk stuff you can afford to lose. I'm just going to throw this out there, that if you're risking 2% of $1 million, you are risking a lot of money. 2% of $1,000. And if you're going to do that 2% of $1 million, you're going to have to fucking think about that trade even maybe. So how about you do 0.0001% of $1 million account? And you're never going to blow that account up. And you might make I don't know, $2,000 a week. How much? Actually, this is what I'd ask anybody that's trading. How much do you want to make a month? And that's the other thing that Ryan Brown says. Are these people making money over time? Well, what do you call over time? When they're dead, they won't be trading. Unless a robot lives beyond them. That's right? You leave a legacy, the robot's churning on some PAM account. And then I bequeath my robot to this PAM account to just churn away in grid trade. And the robot's able to respond to the psychosis we've seen lately. Just think about that. And then so you're next to your kids, and your grandkids never have to work the rest of their life, and they atrophy, and you just get cancer and die anyways. Or they end up the new breeding ground, the beaker for the new petri dish for the new virus, right? In a sci-fi kind of forex sci-fi meets biological nightmare. And this is the kind of things that, do spawn off of this. It is that kind of world now. So all somebody does, so the guys in my band, a couple are very young, as far as I'm concerned, 35 years old. And I said, are you familiar with the tweet that went out about something? And the markets, I remember it was April. It was on April 15th or April 18th, and the markets went berserk. I mean, the Dow Jones at that time was the end of the fucking world because, we had no corona yet. And it was the end of the world, I remember. And I thought, well, that's what that's like. And I thought, well, this is a flash crash. Same opportunity, a lot faster retrace. I mean, it only lasted a few hours and the market was back up. But people were like, holy shit, you mean a tweet can fucking shock the market? Does anybody remember this? Or am I making it up? You come so far from that. I mean, that's like 5 years ago or 4 years ago. Now here you are. And people are like, oh, fuck, I think I got the sniffles. I got a ventilator. And the people are shitting their pants. And yeah, I know people are dying, but half of this shit is because people are freaking out. And half of this shit is because you're going to die anyways, fucker. You're already sick as a motherfucker. And this just tipped you over the edge. So you're just sitting on the edge of fragility. You're 3 years old. You're on those tubes up your fucking nose. And you die. And now the whole world has to stop for you. The whole world has to stop for you old fuckers. And this is a bad thing to say. I'm old myself. Dude, I'll take myself out. Right? I've had it. I'm done. I've lived my life. I did all that shit. I read all those fucking books. I just play my guitar. I thought when I read those books, like most people, I want to make $167,000 a week, and people will think I'm a fucking genius, and I'll have pussy so much I'll get I'll get Corona C from it. I'll get some new disease. Oh, I think gonorrhea. What the fuck? For what? It's a hollow victory. You made $176,000. So what? Nobody gives a shit. Besides, you're a liability to yourself. They're going to come after you. You can't put more than 10 grand cash in an account anymore. You're high profile. They're going to. Your friends know that you made that much money. And then the Corona hits. Are they knocking on you? Hey, can I borrow some money? Dude, you're a loser. Get the fuck out of here. You want that shit? I don't. You want people, oh, what's this guy doing over here? Look at his car. Dude, if I'm making $176,000 a week, I'm not buying a high-end car for you to steal from me, carjack me. No, I don't live like that, dude. So that's a lifestyle choice, too. And if you want to make that, people that have a lot of money don't necessarily have loud money and buy a bunch of fancy shit. Isn't it funny how people attracted to the Forex market, the people that know, well, I'm going to go after this guy. I'm going to show myself driving in a Porsche with a laptop, trading and claiming I'm trading Forex. But if you've never heard of it in your life, it's just another market. The beauty of Forex is you don't need to you don't need to buy a satellite dish for your rooftop at $300 a month and put $5,000 in an account to trade one contract of soybean with a margin requirement per 5,000 bushels of $1,500. When I saw Forex, I thought, this is too good to be true. And it was. Because the government shut it down as soon as they had anything go wrong. So they kind of shut people's the scrutiny and so the new norm. I'm assuming that the plexiglass shields I'm seeing at the stores now are going to be the new normal. I don't give a fuck. I rarely go out, and if I go out, I'm just going to get shit supplies to come back here and just live my fucking, which I've always wanted to do my whole life because my parents would send me into my bedroom, as you can imagine, for being obnoxious, and so I'm like, well, it sounds like that punishment voice that you're saying, go to your room. And I'm like, man, I thought you'd never ask. And they're like, well, because I would make inappropriate comments during dinner. Go to your room. You won't eat tonight. I'm like, well, that's great because it's getting kind of chubby anyways. So it's not all bad. And the striving, because I want to quit my day job. My boss is such an asshole. You think the market's going to be nice to you? You think the market's going to be... Dude, at least the people that you work for or you work with are fucking not like killing you. But the market could kill you if you get in too big. If you get in with this big target on the chart and you go, man, I think it's going up there. So you get in and you don't allow for any fluctuations. You think that the market's going to move in a straight line. You get in here, it's going to go there, you get out. And this is what people have targets. And this is why Fibonacci is so... People want the Fibonacci to be true because they want to see the 618 is my entrance and the 0 is my exit. So, well, the 4618, Tony Plummer, 423 or whatever it's called, 4.23. But this giant fucking leap in dimension, because 50% off is not enough. It's 60% off. You ever seen that? 62% off. That's all that is a discount. The harsh reality is that the 618 entry has to be a better price above or below, or maybe it never hit 618. Would you buy in the way to 618? Well, the cure is that you would enter in a scaled dimension. Now, it could be a grid, it could be staggered, it could be logarithmic, which is, if you're logarithmic and Fibonacci, now you're talking about, like, you'd still have to layer that even. There's no fucking straight line. Even in the geometry is the only thing that has straight lines, and the computer is able to give you a chart with a straight line. You can do a horizontal straight line, and that's your price levels. Your price levels. The guy was talking about the dots guy. Oh, I know these levels. Look at these levels we're hit. Okay, but how did you take advantage of what you claim this thing is just so accurate? You have no idea. You don't know what you're talking about. Dude, you don't understand what Fibonacci is. You know who he is? This guy came over to the studio the other night. No offense. Anybody knows that a Proco, it's an American company. Pro isn't professional and Co isn't company. Proco, a rat pedal. So the guy says, hey, look at this, man. This is this rat pedal. Young guy, I suppose. People don't even know about this. I'm like, dude, that's been out for years. It sounds like shit. I don't know, for me, all pure tube. But it's just a solid state distortion. A big muff sounds better. And the Russian big muff. But I don't know, man. You tell me that the Ibanez tube screamer, oh man, that's like the shit. Okay, it's just another tone. It's like saying this indicator's the shit. Can you play guitar without a fucking foot switch? Yeah, I mean, you should be able to. People made zillions of dollars. Well, not zillions. But maybe over time, the way the fucking copyright... I'm still getting copyright strikes from shit I did like 5 years ago. Really? Leave it alone. Let go. It's going to be okay. They want to run ads on it. I don't think I got a lot of views on the old shit. Although, boy, when I went after ICT, holy shit. Now, here's a guy that just said, I can't make money trading. I do think that there's analysts and there's people that trade. And the people that are analyzing this are intelligent people. So this is, you get the Ryan Browns, you get the people that say, oh, you know, if I just, this indicator, you know, man, I back tested, I optimized it, it's going so good. Now I want to put some money in this machine I built. I don't think so, man. And so I'm going to get to the Ryan Brown presentation, but I want to publish the old Ryan Brown bot. Let me look at the history real quick. I know I jump around a little bit on my commentary, but we started off with $5,000, and our winningest trade ever has been the euro dollar as we martingaled in a 1K increments. Beautiful, splendid. Then we go to, that's the biggest winning trade. The worst trade is a 5K, and it's $12. And apparently the robot took that off. Now, at this time, I had not relabeled this, so we don't have enough ventilators yet, let's just say. We're not overstocked on the ventilators. This thing with the fucking ventilators. What's next? The blood transfusion machines. Can't we just... The Matrix machines in that movie seem to be just... Any back orders on those? It's called back ordered, people. What happened to the word back ordered? Like, the media can't go, why you back ordered on that shit? Well, back ordered? We're talking like some guy that used to own a business. I mean, none of these people have ever owned a fucking business. I don't know if they did. That's another thing. If you owned a business, a lot of people, I think, are coming from this world where they made fucking $500 a week at the golf course because they're like a caddy or I don't know what they did. But if you're at least the no nonsense guy he was a waiter. He waited tables, so he could probably make a lot of tips if he was charming enough, and that's why people listen to him. He's so charming, and he's got the blackboard. And that's the appeal there, right? So, and to supplement his income, because he's one of those people like Alex Stokes, who's worked for Empower Trading, and he did real estate and this and that, and he's like, look at the harmonic chart here, and I'm going to show you this, and let me welcome to my trading room. I'm not that guy, and I don't see the point of I figure if you stumble across my shit, take it or leave it. You know, I'm not going to have you sue me because, like, this guy from, I'm going to jump around. This guy that talks about supply and demand, Sam Seiden. Now, he realized that, just like ICT, it's tough. It's really tough to make money trading because as a solo artist in trading, it's you don't own a brokerage firm, you're not selling a robot, you're not selling an indicator, you're not selling tutorials, you're not writing books, I could write a book, right? Maybe I would write if I thought I was going to die, I'd write a book. I'd be like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to write this book. What I think, that's my take. Bye-bye. Because I feel like, yeah, and I'd just be like, pay me or not. I don't know. Give it to fucking charity. Give it to COVID-19 hookers that are starving to death in Japan. And so that's, people do that, and I think that's what Trump's doing. Trump realizes he's going to die. He's like, I know all this shit. Let me fix this shit for you guys before I die. We're all going to die. I know, big heartbreaker. As soon as you accept death, you can be like Mark Douglas says. You can trade with a carefree state of mind, not a careless state of mind. Carefree. I don't give a fuck because I'm trading 1Ks. It's okay. I'm trading for peanuts. And this other guy. See, a lot of greedy people come into trading, and can you blame them? Look at all the fucking money. Look at crude oil. You sold it at 100. If you were short from $140 a barrel, and you just saw it go to negative 37, and you're going, holy shit. Don't forget, you can't get out of that trade at a negative 37, okay? Just letting you know. That's another fucking thing. It's like when I said the Swiss franc was depegged. You cannot buy that fucking bottom tick. Look at the chart. You'd be like, look at that fucker. But they're stopping you out of the longs at that price, right? They're stopping you out. So counterintuitive. Go lick a fucking lamppost. Go lick a urinal. Fucking why stop at the doorknobs? It is it's 2:30 in the morning, and the euro's going up. I think the stock market's going to go so fucking hard this week, it's going to blow your little fucking bear. We're in a bear market. No nonsense. Get the fucking your head out of your ass. I can at least analyze the market. I'm not trading the Dow Jones, but I can see the fucking trade. Okay, I can say, look, this is going to happen. And even if I'm wrong, I don't give a fuck because I'm not in the goddamn trade. And if you're in it, hopefully you don't trade at one fucking entry with a fucking target thinking the market's going a fucking straight line on your Gartley. Notice the Fibonacci shit. 618, where do you get out? 0. Don't be an idiot. How many times can I do that trade? Well, I don't know. I cherry picked the last one I showed you because I have a trading course on that. So what I did was I looked for where it does work, and I said, see, you don't have to back test it really. And the back testing, okay, you only got to do that once in your life to go, I get it. Trends, this is a trend trade or is this a range trade? Well, the range traders are making money from the trend that goes from you say buy low, sell high. Did that happen in 40 milliseconds, or did you buy it low and you waited 3 months to go up? You got to know that after 3 months, there was a bunch of fucking buy low, sell highs along the way. I would say in my first module of trading courses, that kind of thinking. Okay, you can't show somebody, you have to talk to somebody. If you bought it for $2 and you could sell it for $3, like, I'm with you so far. Okay, but what if you bought 1 million of those at $5 and it goes down to $3 and you need the money for something else because you just got corona up your ass and you're like, I'm going to need a ventilator myself. And I ask you, how much money are you making now? Or even if you rolled that thing down to you blew up the account, I'm going to ask you, how would you feel about buying 1,000 of these things at $5 and they just went to $3 and you're down on paper, right? You're not, the trade's not over. You haven't blown up the account yet. You're down 10 grand. How do you feel about that? That could be a problem. Even though 40 minutes later you'll be up 20 grand on that trade, and I'll say, okay, how do you feel now? You'd be like, dude, let your profits run. Then I'd say to you, when we're down $30,000, 48 hours from now, or 44 and a half, how do you feel about it now? Oof. I think that almost, these videos watch somebody's reaction to something. I would like to see the video of, the guy watching his Forex account go up and down in value. Right? If you're feeling good, get out. If you're feeling bad, double down. Oh, that doesn't sound right. Yeah, I'm trying to build up herd mentality in your fucking brain. You're going to lose. You lose the moment you pull the trigger. Technically. Because you're down the spread. when you bought the Swiss franc, at the millisecond it hit the last tick on that fucking bid chart you look at, you just paid 500 pips in spread. How do you feel about that trade? Well, I don't know. It's just like the crude oil thing about the negative 37. You can't get out of that trade, dude. You can't get out of that trade. You can't. That's not a real trade. The spread is what crushed you. And they went over the guy didn't even know what Trump said back to him. And this is another thing. This same dumb shit 2 days earlier said, what do you think of the price of crude oil? And Trump, since Trump doesn't usually have a quote trek in his fucking pocket, aren't you the president of the United States? You know the price of crude? And so he asked the reporter, what is the price of crude? And the guy goes, well, I don't know. I think Wall Street Journal, dumb shit. There you go. Right? You ask the guy who's working on your car, where's that? I don't know. I'm just reading the manual. Don't ask me. I'm just a car mechanic. You got goobers all around you, people. The goobers that cleaned out the shelf of the tuna that you like to buy at the store. Or your favorite size dildos missing off the rack. Yeah, the glow in the dark one. I can't find this shit in the dark. So, what's my point? Is that we do need to use these robots, and I'm gonna take this Ryan Brown bot, and I'm just gonna adopt it. It's like a car that doesn't run too perfectly, but I can see the grid trading technique. The two adjustments that are critical to the Ryan bot is going to be, what is your money management aspect of the bot? That's critical, right? Because if it's going to overtrade, and maybe you lose commissions and spread, and it does have a spread filter, which is nice. So in an ECN broker, it's going to look for the spread. It will not put the trade. The only thing is that the alarm keeps coming on. I don't know how to turn the alarm off. And I don't give a fuck about. Just do what you do. Don't keep telling me about it, because I had to turn off the sound in the goddamn thing. But maybe I'll have somebody build. I'll take this robot to somebody that builds robots, and I go, dude, you need to build me my dream bot, or my clean bot, my simple bot. The simple bot is the core of this whole thing. The strength comes in clean concepts like buy, sell. Okay, now when do I buy? When do I sell? How much do I buy? How much do I sell? How many times do I buy? How many times do I sell? That has to be the thought. And when I read those books, I'm going to go back to the books. Well, where do I get in the fucking market on this? Albert Brooks is putting a buy stop above. What if he gets trapped on that? And he tells people beginners should put a buy stop in. Advanced trading and putting a limit in. Well, why is that advanced? Because everybody teaches people how not to, like if I taught you how to drive a car, I'm going to show you where the brakes are, in case it gets away from you. But counterintuitiveness is that if you're spinning out in the snow, you have to steer into the turn. So you can't just. This is what people are fucking up on the Corona. They don't know how to counter steer. They don't know how to counter trend trade. They don't know how to. They don't realize the market's ranging. They don't realize some people are dying, some people are getting well. The barometric pressure is changing. Some people can't tolerate it. Some people have arthritis. Some people have cancer. Some people have leukemia. Some people have mad cow disease, bird flu. You fucking name it. But you can't blame. If you cannot trade the markets, you can't blame the market, because you can't fucking adapt to what's going on. If you're not healthy enough to be angry enough to stay alive, I think that's what's keeping me alive, is anger. I'm just saying that's my regiment, is to be pissed off, because then I've got the fuel to tell people to get the fuck out of my way. Why are you so angry? You're in my way. Take your fucking pussy mask off and get the fuck out of my way. And I'm somehow... Dude, what did you leave your house for? So this bitch that was whining about the mask today. I was like, you know what? I got it. Here, pro tip for you, bitch. Shelter in place. Snowflake, go home. Then this, I know I'm being very mean, but I'm telling you what, dude, life's mean. Markets are mean. Gravity's mean. Look at gravity. How many thousands of dollars, millions of dollars have been spent on cosmetics, people getting facelifts, all this. Dude, you're dying. So I'm over at my buddy's house. I crashed on his, because of the whole COVID-19. I fell asleep in the studio. I wake up on the couch. I put on the fucking cable TV. A half-hour infomercial on how to not look like a fucking, a wrinkly person. Dude, have you seen a turtle? They live wrinkle. Have you seen an elephant? The infantilization. I guess in a nanny state, you want to look like a baby. I heard Scott Adams say that Babyface does look like a baby at the age of like 60. It's pretty funny. I had to make the rounds and see what everybody's thinking. So, about the COVID, I think it's so cute. If you, like I said, it reminds me of a bad forex trade. The whole world put themselves over leveraged on stupidity on this one. I don't understand. Nature finds a way. Nature fixes itself. It's like people running to the rescue because you cut your finger. You know, your body's ready for that shit. Capitalism's ready for this corona. We're gonna make so much fucking money from corona, dude. And I know people are have been raped, but it's just like you just overexposed. It's just, if you're in the industry of construction right now, you're like, don't even notice a difference. Now, if you're a person that owns a restaurant, you're butt fucked without any lubrication. In fact, if somebody just loaded you with sand and they're like, here you go. I hope you're a pain slut because here you go. But the beauty of it is that people go, you know what? I guess I am tougher than I thought. I can endure this bullshit too. The euro's taking a move here. So the crude oil, the volatility is what I think is blowing people's minds, but it's no different than the volatility we see in everything else. The toilet paper rack is in minus. It's out of stock. It's supply and demand. The supply and demand. So this guy, Sam Seidel, supply and demand exists. He shows how to trade on the chart. He couldn't do it himself. He can analyze the chart, but he couldn't get the sizing right. Couldn't get the frequency of trading right. He couldn't babysit the chart. And one day he thought, people are paying me for this analysis. See, there's the paralysis of analysis, which I had being a perfectionist. When I used to read these books, I'd be like, I can't put this trade on. This Gerald Appel with the floor pivots they did on fucking math doesn't make any sense. If we're all doing this shit, if this is what floor traders do, they might do it for a gauge. This is like kind of a low price. And maybe what they're really doing is saying that if the market is halfway between S and R, spent a lot of time with traders, talking to them online and them showing me their charts, and they have the fucking resistance 1 and resistance 2, and I thought, well, does that mean I sell 2 contracts at resistance 2? And I thought, well, that could be useful. Martingale into that. And what are you going to do at these levels? Well, I'm waiting to see hit, but also the next confirmation, and somebody sent me an email about this, the next confirmation level is, do I have an engulfing pattern with the pivots? That sounds better, doesn't it? Can I get the salad with the side of COVID? I don't really want it because I can't handle the whole amount on the salad at the moment. Can I get some salmonella? Maybe later. Sir, would you like some cracked? They do that pepper mill. Would you like some fresh COVID? Here you go. Yeah. I'm sorry, but we charge for the salmonella now because it's kind of out of stock. It's back ordered. We call it back ordered, so it's out of stock. Costs more. You mean like the spread's higher? Yeah, you got to order in advance now. In fact, like those gold bars we're buying. How's gold doing, by the way? Like, it's fun to watch this shit because who's putting all the energy into these fucking trades? I got gold up here. I know I do. Here, look at the stock market. Is this ready for a fucking rally? Is the Pope Catholic? God, this is going to rip so hard, dude. We just stop hunted everybody. Look at that. Oof. So here's the thing. Are we falling into this hole? Or are we going to fall into this hole? Which is the deeper vacuum? Sure, we could fall into either way. Gonna blow your mind. It's gonna blow your mind. It's a bear market. I thought it was a bear market. Yeah, there's sellers up in this hole. And is this the supply demand zone? Yeah. All that being said, how much are you gonna put into that one idea trade? Like, how much are you gonna go? Yeah. And the guy that said to me once in an email, when I took over this stock trade, I took over this stock trader, guys. This is like 8 years ago now. And I was like, okay, guys, MT4. And I was showing people MT4. Guy emails me. He was a member of the group of like 100, I said about 80 stock traders. He goes, oh, you're the new guy, huh? I'm like, yeah, I'm the new guy. He says, well, if we knew how to trade, he put himself in this, he wasn't attacking me yet. He says, if we knew how to trade, we'd all be sitting on a beach in the Caribbean. Oh, is that right? Because you went long the stock market here. And by the way, the guy that was the black dude that's made $167,000, $176,000, and I don't know how long it took him. He only traded a little bit of this chart right here. This is the daily chart of the Dow Jones 30. If he held that whole fucking trade until this thing takes out the high of the year, by the end of the year, he would have probably $20 million. Would he go sit on a beach in the Caribbean? He'd probably go, well, let's make another $20 million. No, because that's not your lifestyle to begin with, dumb shit. So the guy sends me this thing. Dude, are you going to the Caribbean typically? Is that how you do most of your profits? Well, I go in my backyard first with an umbrella until they arrest me for buying my own sand. Can't buy paint, can't buy sand for your sandbox for your kids because, well, we had a batch with COVID-19 in it. I know, but I've already licked all the lampposts and all the dildos in town. So. I know, sir, but you're not certified according to our certification rules. Didn't you see the new edict, the new decrees? Didn't you see the new ordinances and the new, we don't like to call them, we call them suggestions, but they're kind of like, you're violating an ordinance. I like how they have different terms for this shit, too. Well, that's an ordinance. Yeah, we don't like to have people, and if you've ever been in a condo, they're like, if you have to put up your blinds need to be beige and vertical. Sure, you can live in your house that you bought, but you gotta we all use the same gardeners. You ever seen Edward Scissorhands where everybody, yeah, that's how our neighborhood's gonna be. It's gonna be like an Avatar. Very clean place we live. Okay, well, real life's not like that, So I guess I'm a bohemian when it comes to that. I just don't care. So I just bitch all day long on the internet here. But this Ryan Brown bot, I think he's onto something here. Too bad he abandoned it, like a true goober. Look at this British pound fell in the hole. And the robot traded this thing. And I had this trading very densely in the robot. It trades a 5-pip grid. Let me see if I can get it to trade here. It's wrong right now. So all these trades, I can make this robot, and I'm gonna do that either tomorrow or this weekend, I'm going to make settings. So here's the trick. Here's how to take advantage of the free bot. You right mouse click. You change the settings, right, of the robot. And then you make the name of the robot the comment. You make that the settings, in my opinion. Now here I have very tight. I'm forcing this robot to kind of overtrade. I don't know what this buy level, sell level is, and I'm going to have to. I don't know if there's a manual for this thing. I'd probably have to run it and see what it does and go, oh, I see what that level means. I don't know that buy level, sell level. I have no idea if that's like, if it gets 16 pips away from the signal, it's going to put I don't know if it's going to initiate the trade. The grid starts at 16 and it goes, I know there's a grid spacing here. The bar shift, this is another way to trigger the bot in a different way. And I set that at 2, and I would write that setting down. That would make a difference. So these first 3 settings look critical to me. And maybe I named the robot like that, and then I would have also the grid. Okay, so this hedging, I don't understand. I guess it's hedging, but you get to pick the pair. I don't get that. So I could use false on that. I think that's it. At the market hedge, it means. And the grid true. And I put the grid at 5 pips. I put the exit reversal at false. I haven't played with that. ECN true because it's going to do the spread filter. So the spread needs to get, if it's above 10, it keeps me the stupid ass alarm that I want to turn off. The magic numbers, I do change those. And maybe that should be included also in the name. Or we have to make sure these are different. We don't want this global magic number to take off other trades and fuck with that. The number of orders, this is going to keep you from blowing up the account. That's a money management aspect. The trailing stop, not using it right now. I could use that too. And I'd have to backtest that. Now I would backtest that because it's a fucking robot. I'm testing it for a specific reason. Very narrow reason of why I would do that. And it has to be because I'm trying to do the money management aspect of that robot, which is completely acceptable. Like, say you had a race car you're building in your garage. Let's just test the fucking horsepower, not the torque. Let's just not, we don't worry about the tires. We put it on the dyno. We just look at the fucking thing from a clinical aspect. But we're not going to take it out on the track and Joe's going to drive it around with the new fucking carburetor. I'm not going to track test it. It's stupid. You waste their fucking time. You're just trying to get a little more fucking torque out of this thing or whatever, which is leverage in this world. And then we have the close by pips to hedge. Now that's if you're going to hedge. The other critical thing here looks like, do we profit in dollars or do we profit in pips? And I'm not really sure. I guess we have those both set to false. So every time we change, now this is why Ryan Brown just shot himself in the foot, but he just doesn't understand that you can't set the martingale to an insane amount. You just can't. Look at this fucking making money. I'm telling you what, I'm gonna run a version of this on another broker, a couple brokers now, and I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to import the whole fucking MT4 folder over with, once I name the robots, and they'll be named by the comment is going to be in that, and I can rifle through it. I don't need to put a spreadsheet, but if you're a real nerd, you put it out to the spreadsheet and go, look at this one's kicking ass. This robot kicks ass during these conditions, and then you can analyze how the robot's running. So Mark Douglas talked about how the people in prop firms look at people. And they look at that 3 o'clock in the morning big sell-off there. We just got picked up on some limits. In the Eurodollar, see that big spike down there? It's 3 o'clock in the morning right now. Look at that. Came right back to structure. Closing prices. Granted, this is a 5-minute pound chart. So that's a different kind of world, a 5-minute pound chart. I'm not trading that myself, but the robot's doing pretty good. I could see that if I was going to intervene right now, I'd take off this I think I should intervene right now. But here's the money management. The 1K, the martingale. That is the whole key of this. The increase is false, and that's why I think it's only putting on that much. And the steps, I did change the step thing. I don't know what the default is, but we can reset the default anytime we want. And the start time and end time, I might change that only because I might turn that on because the robot keeps on sending me this shitty spread message. Dude, I got it. I know it's Asia. Give me alone. Leave me alone. And it just keeps churning that thing out. Well, this is a beautiful buy here. London Open slams back to a top, become a bottom right now. So from my manual standpoint, right now I'm buying. I bought this pullback because when I was up here I started putting limits in. Not on this one, but a Euro Sync kind of story. And I could buy at the market here too. But not trading at the market is, for me, since I'm buying 3 pips deep and 5 pips deep, I'm kind of trading at the market. Like when it's up here, I'm putting in that order, and when it's up there, it's sold. So this thing, I really would come in right now and say, give me that trade that's, let me take something off this table because I'm up on the pound. I'm up on this one too. And let me take this euro off and the pound. Okay. Right. I'll take the winners off and let it go. Beautiful. Now I padded the account a little bit. Like I say, we start off at $5,000. I made about $220 trading in my breakout thing, which is pretty crude. Not the best stuff, but it's it's a high probability trade. The breakout trades, and now we're into this robot, and I'm gonna let this robot churn for the rest of the week. I'm going to work on the names and stuff and the templates. So you go like this. You say, okay, properties, set them the way you want. Make the comments whatever you want if you care about the comment, and then you'd say delete all objects off of this chart. So you go like this, and you delete all the objects. It's got a history of the trades too. If you want to take a picture of that and see what the robot's doing, then you say template save as. You go to template and you say save as. As soon as you say template, it's going to say, what do you want to name it? And then you name it. Now you've got quite a powerful item there because you've got the template, which includes the settings for that robot. You've just locked in the settings inside the template. You come up with another instrument here, and I can run the template here now. I can right mouse click, add template, and if I know what it did and all that stuff, so see how that works. And then now you've got a tool that you can apply to. You got a robot. You can say, okay, let me let this guy go. I know how much it's going to cost me, and even if not, I'm willing to blow up the $1,000 account or whatever, $500 account. It churns away. It's making $50 a day. You're like, that's great. The last thing you want to do with that one robot is load the account. So what you need to do is run 10 robots. And some are making money and some aren't. Because the other guy's going to make money, and if you do take the comments and put them out to a spreadsheet, you're going to look at it and go, I can see what you're saying. This robot does well during these conditions. Then maybe you say, right after everybody's been tested, you say, this robot, we're in this environment, let that robot go. But then again, maybe not, because who wants to second guess if the other robot is not going to be triggered by those bad conditions? Then that's okay, because it's stepping away. But you can't rely on one robot to make money. Another flaw of Ryan Brown, he's building one fucking robot and changing the settings. Oh, I gotta get rid of this, that blew it up. What? How are you doing? Well, I'm building a race car to win the Indy 500. Can't you see? You can build one car. Even NASA's got this, not NASA, but the people that are going to go to Mars, they're building these things and going, okay, NASA would say, we can start over with the whole spaceship. No, they're going to do, we'll salvage this thing, we'll bump it out, we'll reload it, we'll get on with it. This all or nothing, perfect, it has to be perfect. No, it doesn't have to be perfect. That's where the Holy Grail concept comes from, that you're going to build the perfect fucking money machine. You're going to load it up. If it's that easy, everybody do it. Well, most people are too lazy to do it. But yeah, they're doing it. They are doing it. But they're not going to stop doing it. The guys that own restaurants, could they have stopped at any moment? I'm so rich. Even the guy that owns the richest fucking, who's the guy that his shit's in the JF Pang or whatever. The guy that branded some kind of style of food that you see, JF Pang or some fucking, I've eaten at this place. It's all right. I can make better shit at home. Besides, I got all the dildos at home. I make better shit at home. Leave me alone with your fucking FJ Pang. How about a restaurant that does what would it be like the COVID Frank burgers or the Dodd 19. Man, I tell you, it's a bottomless pit of possibility out there. I think I got this thing traded in the yen too. Let me put this onto the. I wanted to trade the yen. I'm going to put it on the 5-minute chart. Now, I did back test the 5-minute chart and the 1-minute chart with this robot. And it was killing it. And that's why I'm not real. I should really put these all onto the 1-minute, 5-minute charts. Let me do that. Oh, here, look at this beautiful. See how it's leaving the station here on the 5? Now, on the 15, see how subtle. And you change time frames here. Look at this beautiful structure on the 15. Pulls back to this break out of the Asia. Here's the unfair value. Oh, this is the Steve Morrow method. Market makers, they stopped you out. Oh, yeah, I know, dude. The spread was kind of wide here. It's already at 1. It's 1 pip right now, and the market just opened. London just opened. The spread's 1. Here the spread was fucking 2 pips. It's like shit. You can't trade big enough on these patterns to make that kind of money, but you can see what happened there. You can't have this price either, by the way. It doesn't mean you could pay for that price. Good thing I got out of those trades. And I wouldn't even mind intervening on top of this robot, honestly, because you've got to see that what's really going on from a structure standpoint. This robot, it's just a fucking moron that trades on an indicator. It's an indicator goober bot. It's like watching no nonsense trade, and you're like, can I get the steering wheel from you a little bit? We're just about to run over a small child. Yeah, you don't understand. This is my baseline. I know your baseline is running over squirrels, and you're about to run over like a really hot chick on the road here. We can't afford that. Are any really beautiful women getting sick from COVID-19? Because I'm going to say at that point, I'm like, okay, we got a problem. I'm ready to go on a lockdown to save the hot women of the world. No offense to the ones that are dragging their ass in the fucking store buying another fucking waffle. Make your own waffles at home. They say that cooking at home actually burns calories because you have to cut your own lettuce. And it's true. I think if you spend time cutting the fucking garlic with a goddamn knife and all that fucking shit and risking your fingers with the garlic knife, and next thing you know, you've burned off 300 calories and now you sit down and eat. You're like, fucking A. Yeah, but if you just get the fucking shit because you drove around the store on an electric cart just because they invented these things, you're going to drive that shit around and keep loading up the car, and then you're going to be whining, I need a ventilator next. Ventilator, that'll be the home ventilator kits. This is the next thing. The Ronco ventilator by Pick'em. It's coming out too. So I'm on the couch there at the studio, and I wake up and I see these commercials, and I'm like, what the fuck? What? We're so wealthy. And then this girl, Seymour something, Jane Seymour. Yeah, you got to get this and then they got the new fucking Zumba, the new workout. You're just moving. It's like pet rocks and shit. People are buying this shit. The new indicator, the Ryan Brown bot, $500. He retweaked it. He's an idiot. When it comes to trading, we're all idiots when it comes to trading. Why would you buy his idiot systems? I'm not selling mine. I like no nonsense guy. I'm not giving away my indicators. Why not? You've already given us away the holy grail of like, oh, this is like a scam indicator. It was designed for this indicator was designed for like landing airplanes. Dude, this is a data filter. Who cares what it was designed for? It's designed to pick the perfect vibration rate for the G-spot. Okay. But what if you don't have a G-spot? G-spot trader. I got to get a name for my robot. the PAM account would be like Turbo Plunger. So it looks like the stock market's going in for a huge fucking rally. Brace yourself. I cannot wait to see. Well, it's a bear market. And I saw some, I don't look at Twitter a lot, but I went there because when I posted recently on Twitter, people were like, and some guy is, I know these people have a checklist for what a bear market is, but good luck with that. I'm just going to wish you all the luck in the world. The Ryan Brown bot's killing it here. I'm up almost $1,200 fucking bucks, and I haven't lifted a finger other than all the work I put into fucking managing these goddamn goober bots. And look at this thing's losing its ass. And watch it. It'll martingale into this. It's sold at 1K, at 2K, at 3K. What's next? 4K. I know what it's going to do. Look how dramatic this is. So here's another thing. You look, if I'm a chair, like, dude, nice move, but I can see the spread now. Right? I can see the spread. British pound? Yes. You could have done this trade. This setup happens every fucking day. Market pulled back. I like that. Some guy emailed me about closing prices. Yeah. Isn't that clean? Tops become bottoms, bottoms become tops. But I'm going to ask you, in the real world, were you sitting there with your finger on the trigger when this double top became a bottom perfectly in structure as it crushed into this vacuum? You might have been asleep. You missed it. You missed this top you missed this breakout pullback, get in. But if you didn't, yes, you could have bought 40 fucking standard lots on that and be out right now. Are you going to do that same trade tomorrow? Are you going to get the same setup tomorrow? Maybe, maybe not. Can you be a consistent winning trader? You can be consistent, but when people say consistent winning, every trade I win $500. Okay, not that. You could be consistently trading, and maybe at the end of the month you're up 40%, or you're down 5%, or you're up 10%. 10% of what? $1 million? $1,000? Most people wouldn't mind having $100 a month to pay their cable bill. Yeah, you're making 10% a month, not $1,000. Isn't that the math? My math sucks, but I would say is that it, or am I off? You gotta be realistic. Do you need fucking $176,000 in your life? If it's risk capital, if I made $176,000, I'd probably cut back and trade really lightly, and I'd lose like $5,000 a week at the end of the year. That people go, dude, you're still doing good. Yeah, I made like 70 grand this year trading. If you told somebody that, and they, well, what's your worst day trading? Nobody's going to ask you what's your worst day trading. But if you've ever traded, you just know how it is. One, you could trade on the news. You could go, I'm going to do this. I'm not going to think a lot of people are going to make $4,000 trading on the news if they haven't lost $2,000 trading on the news the previous time. And what if they changed their algo? I got a better algo. Think about this. I mean, the algo you built today, and if you're from the no-nonsense team, bless your heart, right? Because no offense, we're all starting somewhere. Like once you drive down the road chasing the mirage, and you get there and you go, you know what? There's a lot of stuff on the charts like that where you get there, you're like, there's nothing there. Or I missed the entry. And you can see the sellers are coming in right now here at British Pound. I'd be out of that trade right now so fast. Like, that's resistance. Get out. It could keep going up. But what I do in this instance, if I just made like $1,000 on that move right there, you know what I do? I dump out and I come in with one case. I know. Nobody wants to think about this, but what I would do is I go flat and I put in limits in a box like this that lasts for 4 hours. And then I put buy limits down in a box below this that lasts for like the rest of the day maybe. Because I know this is a really cool place to buy based on previous experience of price behavior. If it goes below here, I'm a buyer. People scalp up to the support, to the floor. People that hold on. You can wait for the engulf. I wait for the engulf. So somebody said, what do you think of Albert Brooks' style of trading? I could trade that style. I don't want to babysit the market. That's all. I'm not a good babysitter. I was with this girl once, and she had a little kid that was 1 year old. And I was so tired, because to having to manage her and this kid, so I just laid on the couch, and she kept saying, how come you're so sleepy? And I'm like, I actually work. I do shit. So I was getting drowsy, and, she was out of her mind, but that's what made her so attractive. And so I was dozing off on the couch, and I thought, well, wait a minute. I got a brainstorm here. How about we just corral this kid, like block him in, because she's already had this thing, like this cute little fence that she put between the doorways in a house. I go, let's go out before they outlaw buying these, and let's buy a bunch of that shit, and let's corral this kid. I could take a fucking nap. We can put a zone alarm on the fence, and we could just chill. We can't do that. Why not? It's like it's an EA for this it's an expert advisor for this kid. I just built an expert advisor, and she can't appreciate this. So that relationship didn't last too much longer, but I thought, am I the only genius here? Just put this kid in a fucking tether, for God's sakes. I know he's not an alcoholic or a COVID-19 addict, but we gotta do something. We gotta do some practical solution. Anyways, it looks like it is going to continue up. I should have stayed in. But see, I'm okay because U.S. markets are going to open, and if they smash that down, I can get in there. Anyways, at least I got out of that short, right? Because now we're going to get clobbered. But I'm counting on Mr. Martingale to come in and save the day. Okay, let me finish out with the Ryan Brown presentation here. And so that was my intro. A little long, I guess. An hour and a half. So he's got this setup here. Now, this is where his robot... I'm going to have to zoom this in a little bit. Nobody's been able to see this the way it is. You got to see the size this guy's trading. You're just gonna say, like, who could put this trade on in the real world without a fucking stop? No, get a load of the size on this thing. In a world. Okay, I just want you to take a look at this. The market's dropping. He's buying the crash. His first entry is $82,000 of currency. I'm sorry. He's trading, yes, $82,000 position. Right? 0.82. I know, it's kind of weird. On his first Forex, I said, I'm in a 1.0. They go, you're in a $100,000 position. I'm like, you serious? He's almost, at the top of this chart, he's almost short $100,000. The next trade he puts on, And I'm looking at this. Looks like I gotta stare into this chart a little bit here. My eyes are gone. I can't see. Okay, so this is the 30-minute chart of the Australian dollar, I think. Yes, Australian dollar 30-minute chart. Now, here's another thing. Why this guy is... How long is it going to take him to wake up to these facts? He's got also the indicator arrows telling him to buy and sell. So he sells this thing. I'm sorry. He's buying this thing on the drop. He could have sold it too. Also fucked that up. He could have easily sold into that and finally made money. That's the whole strategy here. But check out this trade that he's doing here. Wait, I gotta get on this thing. I'm trading I'm selling that. I'm gonna buy. I'm gonna pull back now. I'm cashing out of this thing. In other words, managing the account's a lot of money too. So we got to cash out, and I'm going to get back in at a better price. Alrighty then. So I had to break out my wide grids too. So I'm trading 1Ks. I don't trade $82,000 on one ticket. I mean, I don't know what this guy's thinking. What universe did he grow? How? And he claims he's like, oh, I trade forex and this and stuff and traded for years. Dude, you gotta wake up, man. Volatility is a real thing. So he buys the tank down. The market's tanking. He's buying. Looks like I don't know how many pips apart. Next ticket size is. And you really got to understand forex here. $165,000 you bought, and then a few pips lower, you bought $247,000 position. That's like a nice house. Then you bought another house for $330,000, and you bought one for $400,000. And he just bought. Before this last one, he bought $1.4 million of Australian dollar. Before that, he bought $1,163,000. What is he thinking? There's a $110,000 account. I don't know if this is real money. He's trading low margin. This is a big position. He's using $64,000 to hold this position. Down $21,000. Started with 110. I don't know if this is a demo. Let's see. It doesn't matter. It's the idea of doing this trade. It doesn't say whether it's real or fake. But get a load of that trade. Now, he's probably going to get out, and I don't know, I guess it didn't put on any more positions here. It ran out of margin, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I think the next trade would have been so much. According to the martingale grid, it's probably going to try to buy like $5 million position next. So get a load of Ryan here. He's going to explain this to you. He's going to mansplain this. I'm sorry, going to millennial explain this to you.
Okay, so here we are on the Aussie US dollar. This pair has caused my RMI Pro strategy to basically break in its current.
It caused it to break, did it? His strategy? You mean overloading the account strategy? Fucking A.
Current form. You can find the strategy on my website. You can see that currently it's showing version 2.6. This is going to
Notice it doesn't say the risk. It says profits from 15 to 20% a month. Losses go from 75 to 80% a month, possibly.
be updated or taken down and then updated later on this week. So the RMI Pro is a high risk, high reward strategy. It trades a lot every single day at 20 to 60 times. It looks for a lot of profit, of 15 to upwards of 60% profit every single month. But this
50% of what, man? I mean, you got a $100,000 account there. It's going to make 50 grand a month.
is a high risk trading strategy.
You're going to risk half the account. If you risk 20 to make 50, what is the risk?
Something that I'm not going to be supporting anymore because I don't think that this type of trading is valuable to anybody. I think.
Well, I've made $1,200 on a demo running this thing on a laptop computer, so it's working for me. So I don't mind if I do. I'm going to take that robot and I'm going to put it on. I guess I already saw what I was going to do. And I'm going to give it away. It's free. I got it for free. I'm going to give it away for free. Well, you can do what you want with it. I don't care. I know how to manually trade, so I mean, I have this thing grid trading, different versions of it. Robots trade different times a day. I know the volatile times a day. I may set it on the 1 minute chart, and this may make all the difference right here. Is that when do you implement this robot? It's not his strategy that got broken, is it? He's misunderstanding why it fucked up. Is he not misunderstanding why it fucked up? It's not the strategy, it's the size. For the love of Pete.
I think it can be done in a profitable way if you're very careful, but it's still a gamble any way you look at it. And
all trading's a gamble any way you look at it. Hasn't he figured this out yet?
I just don't want to be part of that anymore. So what
I just don't want to be a part of that anymore. Aw. Maybe you have to go to the COVID-19 shelter in place. Are you familiar with the fetal position? When the nanny state takes over and Fauci decides that he's going to wait for the last virus on the planet before he goes out and goes on Grindr to get some Valley Girl. How about this Valley Girl voice? It didn't hit me till, because I like to tune in to see Trump tell the media to stick their head up their ass. And these Brian kill me little pussies. Oh, he's being really. Don't you think you should save that commentary? What are you designing, the next fucking piece of shit robot? The Holy Grail bot. It's so good that you could just put it on any currency pair. You never have to redesign the robot. You see, just let it go. Really? How's that work? Well, it doesn't. The market broke my system.
happened to for me to actually get to this point. So the Aussie US dollar has had a lot of action lately. It's been moving up in a big uptrend, as you can see here. And this is my trading strategy, and I'll explain it a little bit. But you can see the move here and the pullback. So the RMI EA Pro looks for these pullbacks in the market to take its profit. So it looks for traders pushing the market up and then profit taking and then trickle down a little bit, and that's where we get our profit. The issue here is that last week.
But that's not, so he's counter trend trading it, right? That's fine. That's perfect. I mean, that's what I'm doing. I'm range trading it. He's range trading it with a grid system. It's very simple. We're making a big run here now. We're leaving the station. It's 3:30 in the morning, and the dollar's going to get crushed here into the opening of U.S. And the stock market's going to go ripping up like you've never seen today. Into the jobs report tomorrow. Nobody gives a fuck. The jobs report could be fucking another. It'll probably be only 4 million unemployed, or maybe less. And if it's less, the market's going to go up. And everybody knew that already. And the insiders and the big boys and all. Bullshit, dude. Why would you care about what your neighbor's doing?
The RMI strategy, the RMI Pro strategy, entered a bunch of trades against the trend, looking for traders to find an area of profit and for it to shoot back down. Well, the issue here is that it didn't really happen. There wasn't enough profit taking to happen. There was a lot of buying on the Aussie dollar, and it kept trickling up and up and up until the strategy basically broke and we had a margin call. So these kind of things happen. Every strategy has a weak.
I don't even know what he's talking about. I was looking away for that moment. But when he said a margin call, I was like, you think? You're martingaling in. So you hit the martingale out. It's not the martingale. Well, we took the turbo out of the car because we hit a few people and we hit a tree. Why'd you take the turbo out? Well, I mean, we could have changed the settings on it, but, you know, a turbo's a turbo's a turbo. Martingaling's martingaling's martingaling. It doesn't necessarily matter the settings you choose. Oh, it doesn't? So the concept of martingaling is the flaw. So the idea of accelerating the car, it wasn't the fact that your car had so much fucking horsepower that when you hit the throttle, the G-force took your fucking face and put it in the back seat. So and then you had to put your mask there, ended up there too. No, that wasn't the problem. That you had it so when you punched it, you got whiplash. No, that's not the problem. It's the fact you have an accelerator. That's the problem. How are people missing that? Oh, that's the problem. You're right. It's not the amount. It's the fact that we're doing it to begin with. I see. Yeah, the testing. We're testing.
A weak point. And my strategies don't have a lot of weak points in the methodology, but the market will exploit those weak points eventually. They'll happen.
Is this guy kidding? My strat methodology is great until the market exploits it. I don't think the market knows your strategy exists. It's not exploiting your methodology. It just is. You're the one you're the one jumping into, if you could be a little miniature guy, you're the guy deciding to jump into the engine crankcase and try to dodge the fucking piston rods. It's not that you couldn't, but you need more than one of you. You can't have so much exposure. It's the exposure. You turn the robot on. You let it martingale like a beast, like a fucking retard. The first ticket is getting it at $82,000. The market's exploiting you. Oh, you poor thing.
And causing our strategies to break, and that's why you probably have lost.
It's causing our strategies. Your strategy is to sit on the roof of your car while your girlfriend drives at 140 miles an hour. Yeah, you got to do that at like fucking 10 miles an hour. You want to do that stunt? Do it on 10 cars at 10 miles an hour. And you could claim people, I was doing 100 miles an hour. Really? Yeah, I had 10 of me on 10 cars. It's a cumulative value. It's better for the back testing.
Lost money in the past. And what happens and why this happens is because we're over-risking. A lot of times we would survive using the strategies that...
You're not over-risking, dumb shit. You're oversizing. What do you call risk anyways? You don't never hear anybody talk about risk in dollars cents. Your methodology is not going to save you from oversizing. If you're trying to build the Holy Grail, and once again, he doesn't do layered robots. He's an all-or-nothing thinker. The robot doesn't work, turn it off. I don't want to be involved in such, like, I don't want to have things getting broken. And I heard that a lot of these things are getting broken. There's a spike back up in the rate because we didn't use the herd concept. Everybody needs to get sick. That's what a vaccine is, dumb shit. I give you the flu, so you build up your immune system. Okay, well, then go lick a doorknob, fuckhead. That was a joke. It's the fucking, that's how you do it. The herd concept. Can't remember the word. The herd methodology. Nobody wants to think about adding to a loser. That's like adding to a loser, what you're saying there, not going out with the mask and everything. Yeah. Add to a loser. Don't add to a catastrophe. Don't put on $82,000 position. The robot puts it on for you. This guy must make money doing something else because he's traded real money. And he starts off his thing about how, everybody says it's easy to trade. It's not easy to trade. And everybody puts, yeah, people are trying to sell like their indicators and stuff.
That we're using, whether that's a system or an algorithm or something else, if we just didn't over-risk. So what does over-risking actually mean? And what does that look like? Any strategy that's trying to profit more than 5 to 7% is considered over-risking or
what the fuck did you just say? Any system that's trying to make 5% is over risk. Past 5% is over risking. How? Any robot that's trying to make $1,000 a month is over risking. Really? How much is in that account? 5% of what? How can he even... How does this happen to people? He must have read books about this, and now he can't think for himself. He can't see what he's saying is completely retarded.
Or high risk in my book. And high risk trading means that you're potentially gambling and you're likely to lose money, whether that's in your entire account or a good portion of it at some point.
How big is the account? Are you serious? We're building a model here on this car, working on a prototype. It's a 1/32 car, like a slot car. And we're going to test this car. What if you crash it? We could crash that car. Okay, dude, it's not a full-size car. I know, but it's a car. Is this what the school system gives us? Did he go to college? Good Lord.
Trading in that strategy at that risk level. So here we have version 2.6 of the...
Oh yeah, what I did was I built that little model car. Here's what I made a mistake. I built a little model car. And I forgot to adjust for the miles per hour for the scale of the car. So I took that little car, and I drove it with like a large size car that drives 140 miles an hour. I don't know, it just couldn't keep up. Suspension gave out. I don't get it. Well, in essence, what you did there, son, was you kind of drove that car at 1,000 miles an hour. Did I now? Well, yeah, see the size of the car. Oh, oof. Don't talk size to me. Now you're killing me. My head exploded. Can we just move on to the... Where do I pull the trigger to make money again? You have to just get our course here. This will be the supply and demand course.
My strategy. So this was a less risky version of the strategy, but still considered high risk, looking for 15 to 20% profit every single month. And you can see the first entry here was looking for a continuation of the trend on the upside, and it just fell like...
So now, this is the... He says this is a less risky version. This goddamn thing's into like... oh, Christ, what is this thing into? It's into... just a giant trade. I mean, it's in like crazy size. I mean, this is like gotta be, I don't know, $30 million position or some crazy shit.
Like a ton of bricks, and got us into trouble. Lots of entries, and you might be thinking, well, why enter so many times against the trend? It's... Guys, you just never know when this is going to bounce up. It could trickle down, and shoot back up from that point, and the trend...
Guys, Owen Benjamin. Guys, listen. You never know. Yeah, that might be another reason to maybe turn the fucking martingale down, so it's only putting on a 2K increase every... Because in my book, That call that dollar risk. Percentage risk is just such a joke.
And could continue, but we just don't know until after the fact. And so you can't say that, oh, why did you enter on the down here? Because you never know. You just never know. So the strategy was looking for a balance.
Okay, so strategy to me, there's a breakout strategy and there's the breakout strategy is kind of a trend trade because you're looking for the market to continue in some direction. It breaks out of this consolidation, whether it's wave 2, wave 4, it's a flag, it's a fucking pennant, it's a goddamn dildo. I don't care the fuck. Maybe it's confirmation, stop entry. You're looking for the market to calm down and blast in one direction or the other. And you don't have to choose that direction. It's going to cost you more if you don't. A little bit. It's not the end of the world. Or you're going to range trade it and reversal trade it. You're going to put your fucking buy limit at the wick area, buy limits, and your sell limits at the top, the resistance. And you're looking for it to range. Which is he's a range trader, really, because what he's doing is counter trend trading into the thing. He's not breakout trading that. Another thing is that this market comes down into this void, right? Have we ever seen this before? We have this support area. Well, how can that be support? No nonsense. It's such a tard. He's like, well, it didn't hold support there. You can't count on that trading technique, can you now? What are you, a dumb fuck? Yes, he's a dumb fuck because he can't see that maybe this matters, and we get to hear. Now you start the martingale. So this what he did here is this last trade, beautiful. Since he oversized the entry of that, he could have loaded up, and by here, if he was in the $1.4 million position, the robot would have scalped to here, it would have cleaned up and made up for all of these underwater trades. And if you wait long enough, maybe it comes back to here, maybe it doesn't. Is that a good trade? Fucking hell yeah. Hell yeah, it is. Give me that mouse. Let me show you something. I'm chasing this a little bit. I'm chasing the euro up here. Wow, what a fucking... We're going to finish off this week, and it's just mind's blown. And the media's like, well, Trump's just excited because the stock market's up. Listen, you dumb shit. People have pensions and stuff. And if you didn't sell this like the goober, like the fuck, you didn't follow no nonsense of how to trade a bear market. You probably got one fucking trade-off in this fucking crash. You dumb shit, no nonsense fucking asshole. Who's like, he's not charging either, but he's actually contaminating people worse than Corona-19. You know what? And we need goobers like you to clear liquidity is the argument. But honestly, anybody that follows the charming no nonsense, you don't understand, man. Yeah, Ryan Brown's doing better. I'm using his robot. I'm up 1,000.
In this whole move down, back up, it never happened. We're starting to get some of it here. We'll see if it actually continues. But at this point, it doesn't really matter because this strategy, the RMI Pro, is going to be getting a big methodology, complete overhaul of the methodology and strategies coming later on this week.
Why? Money management has to be the most important thing in the world. And that would be position sizing, frequency of trading, probability of profit, probability of loss. It is true what he said with the Ryan Brown is understood, and everybody figures this out at some point. You, my tequila buddy, said that if I had enough money, I could ride out that storm of that sell-off, and I would be fucking a millionaire. Yes. If you had enough money in the account, you could ride that out and a loser become a winner. And as you martingaled into psychotic price zones, yes, you would eventually make money if you could ride out the storm. Right?
And it's going to look way different, and it's going to cut the risk down. It's going to make this strategy, this high-risk strategy, into a low-risk strategy moving forward. So hopefully something that you guys can get excited.
That's his favorite line, moving forward. So, yeah, so I guess he's gonna take the risk down, but that's only because right now the markets are so volatile. He's being sucked. He's adjusting his robot to current volatility. When the volatility dries up, this robot's either not going to trade, it's going to be too safe, too low risk, and it's not going to make any. It's not going to be worth trading. But the no nonsense creed is we're not losing any money. Well, I'm sorry, you can't. Everybody wants to go to heaven, and nobody wants to die. You're going to have to blow up. You're going to have to lose. You could say I lost $1,000 or I blew up $1,000 account. It doesn't matter. You lost $1,000. You're going to have to lose.
Excited about, but that means cutting down on the risk and the reward, potential reward a lot too.
You
so
think?
This isn't something that you're going to be able to profit 15 to 20% a month anymore, but it's something that you can feel more secure and safe with. So for example, if you go to my RMI EA version 9, so it says this is version 8, but this is actually using the new update version 9. You can see that the strategy has been really consistent on this account over the last 4 months. So 2.9%, 3.3, almost 7%, and so far 2.6. So we're looking at maybe a 5% increase on this account for the rest of this month, since we're only at halfway through. So this strategy also has been going on since 2019. On this test account, you can see it's profited every single month. This strategy has been tested over the last 10 years. And it has been built in the risk management has been built to accommodate the worst of market times on the pairs that it's trading. And that's how I built the risk management. And that's the furthest that the expert advisor could be pushed, or the strategy that could be pushed, was 5%, 3 to 7% profit on a 500 to 1 leverage account. So this strategy is strong.
Okay, so the best part, I think his wife was doing dishes in the background. But so I think the best thing about his robot, it does have money management. It has all that stuff in there. And the key is, and this is the thing that makes it, the reason why it doesn't matter whether this is a perfect winning bot, is that if the risk management's right and the position sizing's right and the frequency of trading and how many iterations, how many versions of this robot are you running, and are you also able to view the market as this thing's trading and it's doing its thing, and you're like, oh yeah, like the trade it's doing, and like you could still come in and intervene on top of the robot and pluck trades off. I think that's the ultimate, is to have both of those running, doing both of those things. So I'm going to post the free bot that I downloaded, and hopefully that's I don't know if the free bot has really stripped out the martingale and I don't overwrite the old one with the new one, so I'm just going to rename it and post it under my thing. And I really don't give a fuck what he says about that. I don't care. I don't think he knows I exist. But so that's an easy fix. But look at the British pound left the station. See, they didn't come back and tag that box there. But that's going up. Stocks are going to go ripping through the roof. And I'm sorry, crude oil is not negative. So here's where it went down to like, I don't know, $6 a barrel. So that means the spread had to be, this is the bid, and this is a Forex broker giving you a price. But in the real world of crude oil and, yes, futures trading, the outlying months, you know, they call them futures for a reason, because you're way out in the future, you know. You could buy gold for delivery in 2028, right? 8 years out, I think you could probably buy gold contracts. And it's probably going for $2,000 maybe, I don't look, but $1,800 for that gold that's for delivery. And people speculate, and there's low volume, the spreads are bad, and some people trade, long. I'm long February, short December gold, and they're very low risk trade because they have a spread on, and it fluctuates very little. And it's like there's seasonal spreads and all this. Jake Bernstein. I bought 3 Jake Bernstein books about seasonal trading, and I thought, that's bullshit too. Like, how the fuck could that be? You buy soybeans in July and you sell them in December. What? You better get the size right on that. So anything you hear in these markets, any kind of scheme, any kind of this, you do that, the RSI, that's great. How many times do you do it? How big do you do it? And what is the frequency? In other words, it's not just that you did it 100 times. Like people look at these death charts of cumulative deaths of a fucking virus. Look at this chart. Dude, that's if I stacked up every day and compressed. That's not price over time. That's not bodies over time. How often and in what time frame? So if you did 100 trades, was that over a month or in one day? And what is the size of each trade? And after that, and that's part of money management, that's also exposure management. Then you have like, okay, well, where's the targets? Where's the stops? Is there any? Am I looking for a certain profit value? Which his robot has no stops or take profits. It does some kind of, when we're up 50%, we get out. So, right, that you know that going in, but maybe you have another robot that does a different scheme. And in the end, ultimately, you've got like 3 strategies or methods or approaches, and you've got 10 versions of each. I got 30 robots running. This is just on one currency pair, mind you. You go to another currency pair, now you got 60 bots. You have 30 bots, you trade the pound and the euro only, and they all each have, these bots. So there you go. That is it, and it's like a virtual prop house in essence. Look how the British pound is getting clobbered now. My euro's pulling back hard. Oh, this is going through the roof. There we go. Big pull back there. I'm still waiting for the euro to go up, so the euro's my lag. I'm in the euro here typically because it's just easy. So look at the 5-minute chart of the euro here. I should put this all on the 5 minutes. Each robot, I'm trying to write unique robots too. So the 15 and the 5 and the 1 minute chart, I know that it'll trigger the robot to trade. So I also know what the robot's looking for in a sense. But that doesn't matter. What's going to make money here is the fact that I have unique bots. I have different settings, different take profit levels, and this is if I want to go into more exposure, I run a different version of the robot, and maybe I put it on another pair and I add pairs. As time goes on, I'm not going to write the holy grail algorithm and scan markets, 28 currency pairs looking for, I got a signal here. That's the signal approach. If it worked, people would just say, this guy's signal service, he's right every time. I trade super fucking hard. I put on 48 standard lots every time this guy has a signal because he's so right. Great. How is that even working? Because you couldn't do that. Right? Your stop would have to be either a percentage of account, 2%, which we know that's fucking retarded, right? If 2% means $1 million, it's different than 2% means $200. So why talk in percentages? Why not talk in money? Well, because it's easy to talk about percentages. There's no pain in a percentage. Oh, I'm down 10%. Okay. Doesn't sound bad at all. Down 100%. Oof. Well, you better. Down 80%? Oh, God. You say you're down $80? That's 80%. Could it be a difference there? Just saying. Anyways, I'm gonna put this in the hightail. I guess I'm gonna put the generic bot in there, and you can adjust settings. Other things, you're probably using the dumb shit settings like in the 14. And he probably got that from some trading book. Well, that's what the professionals, the people that wrote this book, and the book cost $180. I mean, I got this Joe Ross book here. It's like $180. It's like 100 pages with like I'd say like just bar charts, 5-minute charts, and it's probably got about 20 words on each page. And it's fucking been published in his basement. Joe Ross, look him up. The Ross hook. I looked at the Ross hook, I go, that's just an engulfing pattern. Steve Neeson books. Do you see anything in there you could trade? No. He just talks about, this is 5. It's 5 bullish candles, and it's got some special name. Or it's just 3 bullish candles and special name. And I literally read that book and thought, I gotta memorize these names. I'll never be a trader unless I memorize every pattern. I have a book that's called 1,000 Patterns. It is. Trend lines and these giant fucking, talking about 3,000 bars of data on a chart, and there's a pattern in there. Well, of course, there's probably a million patterns in that thing. Well, the pattern, I'm cherry picked this one pattern. It's as far as we made it on the chart too. So it's up into the moment we know now. That's all we're at that. We're only to the moment we know. We don't know if there's another corona around the corner. There'll be something else. Think of all the aftershocks from this thing. Order and balance. But you can't beat buying gas for $1.30 a gallon. See, there's all sorts of silver linings in every fucking cloud, and this is going to be such a joke on the fucking socialist pig fucks that are trying to take advantage of this, because they're going to get their ass kicked by capitalism. It's just you got a capitalist running the country. He's already deregulated it, so you could even be at this level with the right to try fucking hydroxychloroquines. The right to fucking have a cup of coffee has been denied. The right to drive through Starbucks, but fuck Starbucks. They're a piece of shit company anyways. I had some friends that used to go down there. That's done. I'm not going back to Starbucks. Not going to happen. This is a piece of shit company, in my opinion. A real piece of shit. They're just so politically correct. That's the problem. I think it's just garbage. The coffee sucks. We're only there because the baristas are hot. And some of the customers. Personally, I'm not going down there to have a business meeting. You can't hear yourself thinking there. It's so fucking loud. The new Starbucks they slapped up have no fucking acoustics. It's just a big fucking room of shit. It's just a giant room of shit. Concrete floors. Oh, it's the new, real industrial look. It's a piece of shit. You got chairs that clatter across the floor. Well, this is how it is, man. It's very fashionable. Yeah, but dude, it's completely ridiculous. I guess it was COVID-19 ready because there's no fabric in there. That's German style. No fabric allowed. Euro's pulling back. What about the pound? Not so much. Let's see. I got out of that one trade. Let's see if I have any winning trades to take off the table here. As we almost make it to 6,500 on here. So look at put some trades on here. This one robot I know is running. Who's winning? Who's the winning robot? Ooh, $13 on the British pound. Short. Let's get up. Okay. I'll take that $13 off. Plus, I just reduced my size and everything. Short the euro. Euro's pulling back like crazy. Look at that. These are all going to become winners, it looks like. Now, from a structure standpoint, this is a 4-hour chart, too. Different world. Look at this. So I think it did take the trades based on the 4-hour chart because I think it left this in 4-hour mode. That's another thing I gotta pay attention to. And there was somebody I saw on Twitter that was going to short this thing because they probably had a great setup. And can you just imagine what their setup looked like? I can. If somebody told me they shorted this and they go, well, it's in a downtrend and, it's going to break out to the downside and maybe they got another breakout down here and they're like, all of a sudden ripped. That's what the no nonsense calls it an FU candle. Anyways. 2 hours, 8 minutes. I'm going to go publish the supposedly unmartingale Ryan bot